We're back.
Hey.
It's that time. Yeah, man. It's your boy Rome Jones, man. I am one of your hosts here, and I am only one half of the world famous IAXX and experience, and that's my DJ right there, Biggs
What up? What
DC.
up?
Yes,
What
sir.
up?
And folks, y'all know we not alone, man. Y'all know we are not alone. In here with us as well is our favorite big cuz, Chatteray.
What up? What up? What up?
I love it. I love it. Well, folks, I love it, but there's not a lot of love going on right now. All right. This is Love on Shuffle, folks. And you know, we love to talk about all things love and relationships, pop culture from a relationship perspective here. And everybody's breaking up. Let's stay together. Let's stay together. How did that sound, Charlie?
You know,
that,
a
that,
little.
that was all right.
It was
It's all
alright.
right. All right, cool.
It was all right. It was all
Yeah.
right.
Well, folks, shout out to Klay Thompson and Megan Thee Stallion, man. Unfortunately, they just broke up recently over this past weekend. And folks, it hurts us, right? Being that we're in relationships, we've been through it all. We've seen things evolve and gone through the ups and downs. And it's always hard to hear anybody breaking up, even if you kind of saw it coming.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So I ain't gonna lie, man. My quick
Yes.
thoughts. I wasn't surprised. I just wasn't surprised, man. On many levels. I'll kick it over to you, Charlie, so you can expand as well, give your thoughts, and then we'll kick it over to you, Biggs, as well. But no surprises here.
Yeah, like at the end of the day, I feel like the celebrities, things like that, will post things that they want us to see, right? And so
Mm-hmm.
we end up developing our own, thoughts, feelings, what have you. And it's unfortunate because I ain't gonna hold you. Like I enjoyed seeing Clay and Megan as a couple, but also too, I think it comes to like what's the end game here. You know what I'm saying? You have some people that date for marriage. You have some people that date just to date. And I think that it's a huge thing when you can come to the forefront and acknowledge that hey, I want to still be kind of out here a little bit. We having fun, we doing what we need to do. And I think that's more common than not. I don't feel the one way about that, on either side. But I think it comes down just to the communication and understanding that whatever path that you're charting, that you're both on the same page. So I think that Clay and Megan getting together, I think at the beginning it was beautiful. But maybe they came to a point where Meg is going one direction, Clay is going another. So it is what it is. And I feel like if we all think back to our interactions with other people, we probably could say the same. So that's just my thought.
I don't know. That's a little. I feel you, Charlie. That's all I'll say. I feel you on that. What about you, Biggs? What about you, sir?
Um, I really don't know what to say because we kind of anticipated and expected this. So it's like, I mean, it's like
but
what.
did we? But did we expect it though?
I mean, I personally did. It did because it's
I
like,
called it. I don't know about you. I called it.
you know what I mean? It's like my man is Clay is a sniper, what we like to call a sniper. And he's been a sniper for a long, long time, but people don't realize that. Like he been a low-key sniper. And we kind of knew once I realized I was like, oh, he a sniper. I'm like, this is just he having fun. You know what I mean? In my mind, I'm thinking he just having fun. You know, she's had some public interactions, you know what I mean, out there, where she's been showing her fun side. Not to say there's nothing wrong with that, you know what I mean? But to then turn around and try to, expect him to domesticate, a situation, it's not. It's just I didn't see it happening. It would have been nice for it to last, but um reality hits, man. When
Mhm.
you have that type of, you know, you have luxuries when and a man of his stature, you know what I mean? So it's kind of like, it's tough. It's
But
Hey, look, I was so. Oh, go ahead, Char.
no, I was gonna say I'm gonna challenge you on that because I do feel that people, regardless of their status and things like that, like you know what you want. You know what I'm saying? So if you know that, or come to the acknowledgement of, yeah, this is not really what I want, or if I'm still trying to play the field and things like that, I think it's important to share that. I feel like Klay, given his stature, the history, things like that, you could draw that conclusion. However, I think it's important that it's the communication. Like, what are we doing? Like, yeah, I may like you, but what are you trying to get out of this versus what am I, what am I trying to get out of this? So I feel like, Meg has made it public that she wants to be a wife. So my thing is a knowing that you coming in and you playing. Like we ain't even have to do this.
So
You giving me the bringing me around the family and all that stuff, and you're giving me the things that I want, but ultimately marriage is not what you want, or that commitment, it's not what you want. So I think it's important that we share what our intention is up front.
now I agree with you, Charlie. I totally agree with you. Now, in in Clay's defense here, okay, because of the fact that, like Big said, and my wife actually, as me and her were talking about this situation, she kind of helped me understand this a little bit better, right? Um, y'all didn't know Klay Thompson before this situation. You know what I'm saying? Us as basketball fans, we've known about Klay. I'm talking about like not just his sniper history, not just his dating history and seeing who he's taken down over the years from a guy, from that guy, locker room talk kind of perspective. But he's also a well-known asshole as well. You know what I'm saying? Just from like him as a player, like his mentality is he kind of had that light-skinned energy that they say, right? So you know what I mean? I'm just being honest. Like he's known for that. He's the complete opposite. Yes, he's the complete opposite of Stephen Curry, right?
Yeah.
When it comes to that, right? And it's been very surprising to me to see the world kind of get introduced to that, because like I said, I saw it coming because of the fact of who he is as a player, as a person that I've seen over like the past decade. All right. Because he's built like that. And granted, like Big said, he has certain luxuries because he's a champion. He's gone through certain things and gotten to a certain apex that he thinks like that. It's not right. I'm not condoning it. It's not right whatsoever. You should still, like you said, come into a relationship with that type of communication. But to his credit and to Megan's, due diligence that probably should have happened, I just feel like she kind of should have knew that in who she was dealing with. Now, granted, things could have been different when they was having, when they was under the sheets and in the bed at night, and he probably was saying certain stuff that was, and then meeting parents and things like that. Another thing to put out there, and I just want, and this is for all anybody really, right? Or just all my ladies, who, whoever, when a guy introduces you to their family, that doesn't mean anything that much no more. Yeah. Just so y'all know, like, you know what I mean? And I'm not saying that it should, but that don't, fact. You know what I mean? Like they mom done met about 10 of y'all. You know what I mean? Like it happens, bro. Guys just don't really care about that. So yeah, what about you, Biggs? And then we'll take it into our activity.
No, I was gonna say I know somebody immediately that brings multiple people around. And
Just so y'all know, this is an internal joke amongst the pie. We're not gonna go too deep, but yes, this is we know.
Yeah, we know somebody that bring, so it's kind of like, what's the flavor of this month? You know what I mean? Coming around with it. So it's like, hey, how you doing? You say a hi and vibe, and it's not a big deal. Like Rome said, it's really not a big deal as it used to be. Like bringing somebody around your family. It's like, all right, cool. Let's see how she interacts. All right, let's bring the next batch around. You know what I mean?
Look,
I mean, but I'm gonna interject here because I feel that if you
Talk your
are
shit,
bringing me
Queen.
around, if you are bringing me around your family, that's a different level. And the issue that I have is that you purport that this is what you want instead of being honest about what it is that you really want. So my thing is that I think a lot of times people will give into what they know the other person feeds into, like bringing you around my family, bring you to the family functions, but we have to take a step back to say, okay, what is this saying? What am I really saying, and what does that translate to the other individual? So for women, you bring me around your family, to me that's another notch in the belt. That's like next level. Because if we're just doing whatever it is that we're doing, I don't care about meeting your family, your friends, and all that other jazz. But I think that people have to realize that when you take it to that step, you need to retrospect and say, okay, so what does that mean to you? Because I brought you to the family cookout, or I'm bringing you around my family and you're interacting with them. So then you start potentially forming bonds with other people in the family. And then you're like, oh, well, I ain't really trying to go down this path wholeheartedly. Like, this is something that is just routine for me. And I think that's where the breakdown happens. We have to communicate that. So if you're just trying to, like, yo, we just gonna play it by ear or whatever, and I don't know. I don't know what conversations Clay and
But
Meg have had, but now that we're
but
at this point,
Charlie,
I don't feel like the
who
conversations were had.
exactly? You know what I'm saying? Like they weren't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because that's what we're trying to tell. Like, from a sniper's perspective, they're not trying to have that conversation, right? They just living. You know what I'm saying? Like, they just like, oh, you want to come with me to Thanksgiving?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, that's just snipe. Like, then they not thinking that deep,
Yeah,
about it, right? Unfortunately,
yeah, he's not
So,
thinking that.
yeah.
He's not thinking about like the consequences of bringing her around the family. He just like, all right, this is just kind of what I usually do. You know what I mean? And I don't see nothing wrong with it. It's almost like narcissistic. You know what I mean? But it's just how he moves.
But man, family to me, family, like, I'm not bringing you around my family if I don't see that there's a potential for us to grow further in whatever it is that we're doing. And this is where I have an issue, because people don't communicate that. If we're just going to be friends with benefits or whatever the situation is, like, state that up front. And I get that sometimes we can grow to that. Like, okay, we may think that this is what we want, but after some time, we may realize that this is not what we want. But I'm curious to know, like, what conversations were had. And
Of course,
like,
yeah.
were you leading me on? That's the thing. Like, I feel like a lot of people lead people on to the point of breaking, and then you throw out, oh, well, I don't think I can be in a monogamous relationship with. You knew that shit before we even, like, you knew. Honestly, like think about it. You
Yeah.
know, when you're dating someone, you know if you're dating to marry, if you're dating just to fill some time, dating just to fill a void or what, you know that shit.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
I,
not
I
fair. It's not fair at all. But that's
but
where
Charlie,
the communication piece comes down. And I don't
hold
think
on.
that, like I don't know. But I'm not a
Charlie,
man, so I don't
we
know.
talking about dating. We talking about you absolutely right, right? That's dating that you're talking about. We talking about sniping. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's a difference between dating and sniping. And Klay was sniping,
So
but
what's the
Megan was
definition
dating.
as men? What is the definition of sniping? What is that?
Sniping is you just trying to take down any and everything that's out here.
Mm-hmm.
You trying to take down everything, and you don't care how it happens. You
Right.
just don't care. You just sniping.
You'll
And I don't
run.
like I said,
I don't agree with that because I feel like it's other parties involved. Like I've seen stories where people have had relatives like close siblings and things like that when they just like you know doing what they do, and some women do, siblings and things like that speak up, but it's the I don't know. I just feel like people need to be more honest. Be more
I
honest
feel you.
about
I
your
feel you. I
intent.
feel you.
Mm-hmm.
I feel you. I do. I
But
do.
if
It's an
women
intent
did the
thing.
same
It's an
thing,
intent thing.
we would be
But they
labeled.
do though, Charlie. That's
Yeah,
the
no, they
thing.
do.
That's a whole nother
We're
conversation.
No, they do.
labeled. Women are labeled as hoes if we do that exact same thing.
I don't think
He's
anymore.
labeled as a hoe too. Like that's what we're saying. He's a sniper. He's a hoe. If you're a sniper, you're basically a male hoe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's basically what it is. That's right. That's right. That's right, folks. Y'all know what time it is, man. Y'all know what time it is. We're gonna kick it over to our favorite big cuz for Ask Big Cuz. Sorry.
Yo, what up, fam? It's your favorite segment of the show is hashtag Ask Big Cuz. So today, we're gonna talk a little bit about friendship expectations. This is a couple edition. So I would like to hear from you all from the perspective of if you are friends with me, as in you are my friend, okay, my friend, do you have to be friends with the spouse, girlfriend, boyfriend, whomever? I think that a lot of times when we enter into relationships, marriages, what have you, there's this unspoken thing of, if I'm friends with you, then I automatically have to be friends with your spouse or whomever, and we have to do things together. I disagree with that, but I want to turn this over to Rome and Biggs to get your thoughts. So y'all let me know what y'all think. Just because you're my friend, does that mean that you have to be friends with my spouse?
No.
Nah, I don't.
No. I mean, it's been plenty of situations like that. Now, I haven't had it where it's been somebody I just don't like.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That I just don't want to be around them or anything of that sort. But no, you don't have to be friends. You know what I mean? I think that that's something that it has to be established early on, though. I do think that that's one of those things as a couple you do have to establish, like, and figure out at some point, at some juncture, that all right, everybody I'm cool with, you ain't got to be cool with, type of thing. How that happens, at what point in your relationship, that's up to you all. But I definitely, no.
All right, Biggs, what about you?
Nah, facts. I definitely agree because it's like, when your partner brings you around somebody, then when you get home, you be like, man's was all right. He was cool. You know what I mean? You have that conversation or you talk to her. I just know how I am. I'm like, man, I could probably have a drink with boy. You know what I mean? Or sis, you know what I mean? I could have a drink with her. She seem all right. And then if it like the next interaction gets weird, I'm like, nah, scratch that. You know what I mean? We're gonna dub that whole situation and we just I'm just there for support if that's your friend. So at that
Okay.
point, but it's usually like it go for energy. You know what I mean? So if the energy is weird or it's not feeling good to me, like Rome, no, hey, bro, we move off of energy, bro. So I'm like, if it don't feel right, I'm good on you. Like, you know what I mean? We could
Yeah.
just say, I keep it moving. You know what I mean? So
Okay.
Yeah.
I appreciate you both offering your voice and your thoughts. I think that people have this thought that just because I'm friends with you, like I have to be friends with your spouse.
right,
And I think that we have to draw the line because you're my friend. And again, if it organically happens, I think that that's okay. But there are some people out here that feel that, okay, just because you're married or you're in a relationship, I'm friends with you, I automatically have to be friends with your spouse, wife, whomever, girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever. And it creates this dynamic that we all got to do stuff together. And it's like, nah, like if I want to hang out with my friends, I want to hang out with my friends. And I feel like I can use Rome, you as an example. Like you and I hit it off. And it was never an expectation for our wives to join in on the friendship. You and I, you know what I'm saying, we can go have a drink together, we can go to, we can do things together as friends, and that doesn't necessarily mean we have to include our spouses. um I'll be in full transparency. I feel like a lot of friends that and I use that term very loosely. Some friends feel like, oh, well, because I'm friends with your spouse, I got to be friends with you. It's like, you cool, but I ain't gotta hang out with you. Like, you my
hmm
wife's friend.
Yeah.
Like, y'all gonna go do y'all's thing. So I just wanted to bring that particular perspective to the platform, and get your thoughts as well. So I will say, I'm a person where whoever you're friends with, that's who you're friends with, and if the friendship expands to the spouse, that's okay. But I don't think that should be an expectation, So I will say we want to hear y'all's thoughts. We want to hear what you think. So y'all can hit us up on all social media platforms at Love on Shuffle. And that's TikTok, that's Instagram, Facebook, Facebook, also YouTube. And you can always email us. Okay, email because I want to hear what y'all think. And that's the email address is love.on.shuffle.podcast@gmail.com. We want to know what y'all think. Like, do you feel that because you have your friends, do they need to be friends with your spouse and vice versa? Me personally, I don't think so. I'm more of you a cool person, but you my wife's friend. Like, y'all go hang out, do what y'all need to do. I don't need to be included in it.
Yeah.
Have y'all's time.
Mhm.
So we want to hear y'all's thoughts. Y'all let us know, drop a comment, hit us up on email, or hit us up on any social media platform at Love on Shuffle. We want to hear y'all's thoughts.
Thank you, because
You already
that's right. And y'all know what time it is, man. You know we cannot end this show without kicking it over to our resident DJ, Biggs DC, with the Saturday morning mix. What you got, brother?
Here, what's up? What's up? What's up? It's your boy Biggs back with the Saturday morning mix, and we wanted to kick it off with this title called "Make Sure You Know It's a Risk," as we just talked about, right? So, hey, we talked about a lot of risking. We talked a lot about dissing and different topics this time around on the pod. So we appreciate you guys rocking with us and supporting us through our all our mixes. Again, we definitely use Title. Title is where you can find all our playlists and mixes for every topic or discussion that we have. So Y'all know the rules. Everybody knows the rules. Everybody gets 3 attempts or 3 songs to really come with some heat. This time around, we are really blind this time around with everybody's picks. We don't know what we're going to put out there in the atmosphere today, but we're going to put some heat out there because that's what we do. And I know my co-hosts, Charlie and Rome, got some heat. So I'm going to kick it over to Charlie Ray. What you got for me? Talk to me.
Listen, I'm going back to the early 2000s, and I think that I took a different approach as far as my mindset around this particular playlist. But my first one, I'm gonna go Blue Cantrell, Risk It All.
See?
And I think that focuses more on the intense devotion to give everything for a partner who brings you, the joy. They renew, that spirit of love. So
Okay.
that's my first choice. Blue Cantrell, Risk It All.
Okay. Hey,
Okay.
listen, I told I told y'all, man, she don't be playing, man, every time. Rome, you up, man? Talk to me. What you
Uh,
got?
uh, so I'm going somewhat in a similar vein, early 2000s. Shout out to Nivea, man. Shout out to Nivea. And I'm gonna go with Don't Mess With My Man. Uh pause.
Okay.
So y'all know how the song go, you know what I mean? But I
Don't
put that
mess
one in there.
with my man. I mean, I wanna make
Hey,
it.
so I did that for all the ladies out there that you know what I'm saying, like, when they man, be getting hit on and stuff, you know what I'm saying, they gotta step up to these little things out here,
Okay.
trying to risk.
Uh,
Hold up.
I'm gonna stay in that early 2000s bag. I went with Fabulous, Jagged Edge, Trade It All. So yeah. So- all right, Charlie. Charlie, what's up? Talk to me. Your second one. Let's go. Keep it moving.
Ooh, y'all know. Y'all already know we've talked about this artist in a couple of episodes, but I'm gonna go Snow Allegra, Find Someone Like You. Number one, because that's one of my favorite artists, but I think that that song speaks to finding that person. So now what you choose to do with it, you want to risk it all, you want to, but it's up to you. But I'm going Snow Allegra, Find Someone Like You.
Snow Allegra, a dope artist, man. I feel like she's underrated. I don't know if I wouldn't say underrated, but I feel like if you know, you know. You know what I mean? Like with Snow.
Absolutely.
So it's like
Absolutely.
For sure.
that's
One of the
like
best
as usually used like with people that got good taste in music, Snow is in their playlist. So make sure you get that song in your playlist. All right, Rome, talk to me. Second one.
I want you to know. See, I'm gonna play that as soon as this is over. Next one, I'm going way back. I'm going back in the time, man. I'm going Billy Paul, Me and Mrs. Jones.
My boy took it back,
now,
didn't he?
I'm doing two. It's two reasons why I did this. For one, because I want to shout out my baby, man, because it's always me and Mrs. Jones. All right, it's always gonna be me and her at the end of the day. Now, but on the flip side, the context of this song is wild. It was a different time back in the day. All right, it was a totally different time back in the day. They was on some stuff back then, and it kind of fits the criteria of what we were talking about, risking it. So went with Billy Paul, Me and Mrs. Jones.
I love it.
Okay. So my next song, I went with Nas, because I just know if you're gonna play, you got to get yourself a gun. So if you're gonna risk it, get yourself a gun. So that was kind of
got yourself a gun. Come on.
So that's just how I was feeling when I thought about this. So, but go ahead. Next, I think this is your final one, Charlie. What you got for me?
So I'm gonna go for my final one, Miguel, Sure Thing. Y'all know I'm an R&B lover. But I think that song really speaks to just unconditional love, devotion, unwavering commitment So I feel like if you are a person that finds yourself at the crossroad, you're leaning more towards that,
Mhm.
assuming. But I think that song, it's a sure thing. Like if you know, you know. So Miguel, sure thing.
Right. Okay. Okay.
A
Well,
dope one. That's a dope one.
that's a dope one. Dope one. Iron, what you got for me? Last one.
Yeah, final one, man. I'm going Maya featuring Jay-Z, Best of Me remix.
Mm. Okay.
You know what I mean? Even though I want to
That's a
see
good one. That's a good
how
one.
you what? Come on. Classic.
Oh. All right. So my last one, I went with Beyonce. I went with Me, Myself, and I. I know it was weird, right? But when I was listening to the lyrics, I was like, she going through something like somebody didn't really stepped out on her, you know what I mean? So they had risked it already, you know what I mean? So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna just go with that one. Y'all let me know if it didn't really pertain to this topic, but I felt like it did. And that was my last one. We gonna go with this, make it a risk or not a risk, right? The name of the title, name of the mix is Don't Risk It. All right. So again, title, we have our playlist on title. So again, make sure you keep up with us with all our playlists. This is us again, finishing, closing out strong. Let us know if you like it or not. Again, this is us.
Sure. Appreciate you, Biggs. And we appreciate you for tuning in, man, for episode 29 of Love on Shuffle, man. We appreciate you. Always follow us on all social media platforms, Love on Shuffle. We'll be back every other Saturday morning right here on YouTube. You can find all of our episodes. Go back, check out some of our previous episodes, man. Shout out to the Saturday morning cleanup. We made some transitions over time, but definitely check out some of our previous content and tap in with us, folks. We want to hear from you, and we would love to get engaged with you all. For myself, Rome Jones, Biggs DC, my big cuz Charlie Ray. Hey, good gracious. Y'all see what kind of stuff going on up in here. Good God.
No.
Had that boy sweating, ain't it?
Hey, but yo, man, this has been Love on Shuffle, man. We appreciate y'all. We'll see y'all on the next go around. Later.